Hey everyone, talking about Lacoste Rouge. This was the go-to fragrance for me for 8 years, the only thing I wore. And it has notes of rooibos tea, mandarin orange, I think mango, black pepper, ginger, cardamom, acacia, and benzoin. Obviously, a designer fragrance. So the history of this was I've always liked fragrance in some capacity. I honestly don't even remember most of the names of anything that I would have worn when I was like middle school, teenager, whatever, but I just like to wear something. Then when my wife, at the time girlfriend, and I got together, I was like, I want to pick out a new cologne or whatever. And we went into Sephora. I tried, I remember the number like around 60. I did not like anything except for the ones by the Lacoste L1212 series. And even then I was really picky, I guess. And she agreed though. She like really didn't think most of them were very good at all. Now I realize also I was probably smelling them too quickly after spraying and getting too much alcohol, but regardless, I was not like feeling most of them. Then I narrowed it down to this and some of the other Lacoste L1212. My wife and I both thought this was the best. Got this and then wore nothing but this for 8 years. Went through quite a few bottles of it. And yeah, I always like the little alligator Lacoste motif or whatever you want to call it too. But now I still actually wear it, and my wife still, this is one of her favorite things that I wear. I feel like that's obviously got to be heavily, tinted by nostalgia. And I'm sure she would say that to some degree, but she really does claim that she just really, really likes the smell of this. And I guess it sort of makes sense because designers, for people who aren't, frag heads, do tend to often smell better, but at this point she has smelled so many niche things through me. So it's not like her nose is basic, but she just doesn't like most stuff. But yeah. So this has low projection, I will say that. I like that, but this was too low. Like there were times I remember a very close friend that I hang out with all the time. One time was like, "Oh, you smell good. What are you wearing?" And I was like, "You've never smelled this on me before." before. But yeah, let's put some on. One of the few. That's what I do like though. I love something about when I can overspray something with really low projection. I like being able to spray a lot of stuff. Like I like that it's something where I can just do 10 sprays of something if I want to, and it's not going to be a problem. That just feels satisfying and fun. Obviously, if it's a very expensive one, that is not so satisfying and fun, but this is not. But they don't make this anymore. There was a while where you could still easily get testers and stuff like that on eBay, but my experience with that now was not good with the tester. It's on eBay, the one where it was out of the box, because at least there's also a version of this that's clear. And I've done a video on this before, that it is very, very rare for fragrance to actually go bad. There's a lot of kind of mass hysteria about that online in fragrance community, but it's really not common like people act like. The one time I've ever had it happen was when I had bought on eBay one of the clear versions that was out of the box tester of Lacoste Rouge, and it had gotten kind of just like vinegary and gross. And it wasn't like a fake or anything. It was just that they had obviously like stored it on a windowsill or something without the box or anything like that. So yeah, I bought up a ton of the boxes of these when I first found out it was being discontinued, because I remember Fragrance Net still had it even like a year and a half ago or something. When they no longer had it, I was like, oh shit, okay, so this is gonna get hard to find. I do not want to run out of this. And because it has low projection and stuff, and it was affordable, I bought up a lot of boxes of it. I definitely want to keep a decent amount, but I am going to sell some of them, and I decanted some of them, so I'll link in the description on my site where I listed some of the bottles. I'm still selling them, for under $100 and stuff and whatever, so I'm not trying to be like, and then, yeah, you have to pay $300 to get a discontinued designer fragrance or some shit like that. But, yeah, I have 50 milliliters and 100 milliliters, and then I did sample sizes or whatever, and if you want me to make a custom, 20 milliliter, whatever, like, let me know, but if anybody's interested in it. But as with always, I never recommend blind buys, even if it's something that would get me more money. I just personally do not recommend that. I didn't even do that with this. I went into the store and sampled it, so I always just recommend sampling something first. But as for a little bit more about the smell, I love a good citrus paired with some warm spice, but I'm like sometimes I don't want to say that because not like I don't want to say that I'm not swearing under a jury or something and then committing myself to like you're a life of warm spice and citrus scents for you. But like sometimes warm spice can just go so many different ways. It can be so sharp and like so musty, potpourri like, too mature leaning, like all these different things. But here is not too, it's not like that at all. It's just like the perfect way it kind of melds with the citrus. I don't want to make this sound like it smells like a $500 fragrance, but to me it is really just perfectly blended for a designer in terms of the scent profile of just, yeah, like nice warmth to it, but also that like fresh, like a slight tropicalness with a sort of mandarin mango like vibe, but not too far in that direction either. Just like a very easy wear. The rooibos tea is not too earthy or anything either, and just, yeah, this is the kind of thing I'd love to see from more designers. Like I always say, I mean, it sounds bandwagony, but I don't want to just see everything be like a sweet powder bomb for every masculine designer that comes out. It seems like everything's either like a shower gel freshie or like a lavender aromatic or like a sweet powder bomb. And it's like, I want stuff like this, and I love this, and I'm always going to keep bottles of this around. But yeah, so that's what it is for me. I don't like the dry down as much as I love the opening, but I guess that's true for me of like 90% of fragrances, because citrus is such a favorite for me. So if I'm wearing something more citrus based, I'm in it more for the opening. And if I'm wearing something more smoky, I guess it doesn't matter as much. But yeah, by the dry down, not that it's there yet, but it gets more of like sort of the benzoin acacia. Trying to remember. A little bit more of the rooibos, just sort of like chill and calm, but it's so much more of a skin scent by that point anyway. So yeah, but this is like one scent that I can always wear and my wife is never going to complain about, even if I overspray. Because other ones that she likes, it's so dependent on the exact amount of spray. It could be like going from, ooh, that smells really good, and then a couple extra sprays would be like, can you not spray that next time before you get in the car? And things like that. So yeah, really, really like this. Doesn't mean everybody would. So sometimes, I mean, people are always like, post a video of all your full bottle worthy fragrances. And that is coming if you're watching this like on the post date. This was one of the last videos that I had to do. I think there's one more after this. So within the next few weeks, if you haven't yet, then that other full bottle of all the bottles will be coming. But I'm always, I feel like people put too much stock in that. Like, I guess it's dumb to say who cares what my taste is if people are watching. But I feel like my channel is more about like presenting different scents and kind of saying stuff about them and like, oh, and this is what it smells like and this is that. Not like, I'm not trying to say my opinion is so important or something about like, if I like it, you're going to like it. If I dislike it, you're not going to like it. More like, this is what the scent profile is. This is like, the stuff about the scent, and then what kind of scent you do or don't like. But so it's not like, this is what this I wore for 8 years, so that makes it so amazing and you're going to think that too. But for me, and if your taste is like mine about this kind of thing, yeah, I really like it a lot. And if I'm not sick of it after, well over a decade now total since I first started wearing it, I don't think I'm going to get sick of it, hopefully. But yeah, again, low projection, but I don't mind that, and I like being able to overspray. Low longevity, but it lasts more in clothes and stuff like that, I would say. It's not like 4711 cologne or something. It's not something that's going to disappear in 5 minutes. And again, maybe your skin chemistry and stuff would get more from the projection. I do get more from clothes for sure than I do from my skin, so maybe my skin just kind of eats this and soaks it in. But in general, Lacoste are not known for their major projection. But yeah, I think that's about it. So there's Lacoste Rouge and there's Lacoste Rouge Energetic, and they're very, very similar. Basically, there was the original Lacoste Rouge. It feels like that one was out for like 2 months before they did the Lacoste Rouge Energetic flanker and then replaced it. And I don't even really remember the difference. But yeah. So I love it. I'm curious. Oh, and also one other thing. Oh, I can't remember this reviewer's name, but maybe I'll link it in the description if I do it. There's another reviewer that I've watched who had his wife do like a blind test of a bunch of like 10 plus Lacoste fragrances and comparing them and like, seeing which one's better than which. And this one ended up being the winner. Granted, that's just compared to some other Lacoste fragrances, but I do think there's something special about this one.